All right, let's go. I'll show you 2 ways in which you can automate your email responses and save time. The first is a smart email assistant that is integrated into your browser and lets you quickly see what the email is about and lets you draft responses quickly. And the second one is a no-code tool that lets you plug in different components and draft emails in bulk. Let's see how we do this. Let's see how we do this with Monica, the smart browser assistant. Let's say I just got this email, right? And I want to quickly know what is it about. So I just press Ctrl M. Monica opens up and I have the chance to chat with the page. So I click chat with this page and I can quickly ask, what is this email about? Then I can ask follow-up questions. For example, what's the intention of the sender of this email? So then basically it gives me a quick list, and if I want it even shorter, I can say, give me a short bullet list with 10 words per line max. So then as you see, it quickly gives me this overview, right, where I can see exactly what this is about. So now let's see, how can I quickly draft an email response with AI? Monica introduces this neat button called AI Reply. So I click on AI Reply, and then this neat pop-up appears. So it also gives me the quick summary, and then I can choose how to respond to this email. So I can choose the length and format. So let's say I want a medium response, I want a neutral tone, and I want my response to sound candid. And then I can choose between various response content. For example, let's say I pick, let's discuss thumbnail ideas further. So then it drafts this response for me. I can read through it and then I can insert it by clicking this button. So as you see, it has inserted it. And now I can go on and change it as I wish. So for example, here I can add various more lines like, please send me a portfolio link so I can have a look into your work, right? All of this neatly integrated right here in your browser. So this saves me time because I don't have to read the whole thing and it shows me just the gist of it, right? We know many emails contain a lot of fluff, so this cuts right to the chase. Another interesting use case is, for example, I can compose new emails from scratch. So I click Compose Email. And then I have this neat button down here called Open Writing Assistant. So again, it gives me choices about what I want to write. So for example, let's say I want to send a cover letter to a recruiter. And then here I can choose the points that it will highlight. So in this case, for example, I say, I'm an AI engineer focused on the use cases of generative AI, right? So this is like a very small example. Again, it does the whole thing for me. And then again, I can insert it very easily by just clicking this insert button, and then I can take it from there, right? So in this example, it's a lot of content, but again, now it's up to me to trim this, and it solves the problem of starting from scratch. As I've already said, Monica is a very versatile tool. Here are a few prompts that I use with it. You can download the entire document in the link in the description, which contains all the prompts and all the workflows we discuss here. Now let's have a look at the second tool, which is Zapier, which is a universal no-code automation. This means you have these building blocks that you can plug in together that push data from one to the next. So I will show you how to use this in the context of automated email bulk responses. So imagine the following scenario. You will get an email coming in and you want to have a draft reply to start out with. This is particularly useful if you work in a sales team and you get lots of emails daily. You can cut your time in half with this because you will already have the email drafts already sent out. So now let me show you how to create this pipeline for yourself. It contains 3 steps. You get a new email, then the email will be drafted with ChatGPT, and then the draft will be saved into your drafts folder, right? So this pipeline is made out of so-called zaps. which are these building blocks. And it all starts out with a trigger. Let's try to build this from scratch. So you start by going to create a new Zap. And here you have the option to let the Zapier Copilot fill it in for you, which is still in the testing phases. But for the sake of demonstration, I will show you how to do this by hand, so you will understand it better, and then you can create your costume zaps as complex as they might be. So first, we choose a trigger, which means when should this run? So we want this to run when a new email arrives. So we choose Gmail. And then here, we choose the trigger event, which will be new email. We have already connected our account upon sign up, so we don't have to configure this step. Then we click configure, and here we choose the email inbox or the label that this will trigger on. So whenever something gets into inbox, this trigger will fire. So that means the whole pipeline will start working. Finally, we click test trigger, to see if it has worked. So it will show us a few options of emails that it has fetched from our inbox, and we will use these emails as demo content for the next two steps. Let's have a look what's in the first email. We can see a quick preview, which looks nice, and we say continue with selected record. Now in the second step, we choose what will happen once the email reaches the inbox. So here we choose ChatGPT, and here we can choose which action will be triggered upon this event. So in this case, we will choose write an email. Then we click configure, and here we can select the fields that this applies to. So here we will fill in all the details of the email. We can use the / key for quick mapping. So the recipient name will be the sender. So this is whom this email will be sent to. We'll choose the from name. The recipient's email is the sender email, which is in the field from email. And now the from name is our name. So in this case, it's my name. And then this is the email prompt that we will send to ChatGPT so that it creates a completion and it will fill in the draft for us. So I've already prepared this. Again, remember, you can download this document in the description below where you have all these prompts. So in the subject, we say subject, which was pulled from the first step, from the create new email step, where it fetched the details of the email. And then the email body in the same way. We will choose body plain. So it will fill in these details and then execute this prompt for us. Let's pick the tone as being casual. The body type is plain text, and we can leave the other fields as they are. We will choose the GPT-4o mini model, which is really quick, and it also consumes less tokens as the other ones. And ultimately, we will test this step as we did previously. It will just take the email that we had previously, and then it will draft a test reply for us to see if this step has been executed correctly and configured correctly. Right, there seems to be a little problem. The thing is that the 4o mini is not configured to return JSON content, which is a programmatic type of sending data. So this is why we will choose the GPT-4o model. So let's try to test it again. All right, now it worked. So it said an email was sent to GPT about 0 seconds ago. Perfect. So here we can compare the data that we input into the GPT model, and then we can see what it has output. And we can inspect the body field, which is a nice reply to the content that they have sent us, right? So thanks for the heads up about so-and-so. Ultimately, we need one last step, the third step, which is we include the Gmail step that saves this content as an email draft. So again, we choose the action, create draft reply. We go to the configure step. And here it's important that we include a thread ID of the email that we want to reply to. Otherwise, it wouldn't know which email to reply to in the first place. So again, we choose the thread ID from the first step here. So the fields will help us with this. For this, we have to choose a costume value. so that we can link it to the data in the first step. We choose the new email step that we had here, number 1, and then we search for thread. So here it is, thread ID. Then again, we fill in the fields as previously. The to field will again be from the new email. It's the from email. Nobody in CC, nobody BCC. This depends on your workflows. For example, here you can include some company internal emails to get the responses as well. In the from field, we choose our email address or the email address that we want to respond from. And the from name will be, in this case, our name. And here in the body, this is the important part. Here I insert the body that was generated by ChatGPT. This is important. This is where we link the output of ChatGPT with the actual email draft. And here we choose the body variable. Now again, the test step, we can see if this is running. So here in the data out tab, we can see that it has applied the right thread ID and that it has saved it, putting the label ID as draft. So now if we go to the inbox, we can see that the test was successful and that actually a draft was created for this particular email, and that it's exactly the content that was generated by ChatGPT. Now let's go back, save and activate this Zap. We click publish, go to my Zaps, and now let's do a real life demo. Here I will compose an email to myself. Let's say a random subject. Hey, how's it going? And then some simple body like, hey Rob. Now I click send. Here I open my other inbox, so I'm waiting for the email to come in. And once it has come in, Zapier will run the whole pipeline that we saw earlier, which means it will see the new email that has come in, then it will send the content to ChatGPT to draft a reply, and then it will get the response of ChatGPT and put that reply into the email body and save it as a draft. So these are the steps. Here we see that the email has reached my inbox. And now, since Zapier runs every 2 minutes checking for new emails, we might need to wait here for a quick second. Again, remember, since you're doing this in bulk, you won't have to wait, right? So for example, emails might come in overnight and the next day in the morning, you will see all the emails here lined up together with the drafts that you can then read, modify as you wish, and send them out right away. And if you use this in combination with Monica, you can also get a quick summary of the emails, as I showed you previously, and then make the necessary modifications. So here we see the response email that was inserted automatically and that was saved as a draft previously. And again, just as in the case with Monica, I can change some things here. For example, let me know how I can help. Cheers, Rob, then I can send it out, and this is it. I have included all these steps here in the document that you can download via the link in the description, where I included all the prompts that I used, both for the first example with Monica and then with the Zap that I created. And if you like this video, make sure you click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new videos that I create on generative AI, where I share my experiments and workflows with different tools. And if you're a business owner or operator and you want to create your first generative AI automation without breaking the bank, make sure you join the Make Work Obsolete community, where we have a full course curriculum, weekly calls, and a community of like-minded generative AI automators like yourself. For more information, click the link in the description below. And for any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!